Hello guys, today let's talk about soft natural summer style loss. If you're new to my channel, I have a huge Kibbe playlist. I'm gonna leave the link down below. If you think you're a soft natural, you'll probably have blunt bones, slightly squarish, a bit rounded angles on your face, on your body. You might have slightly wide rib cage, squarish shoulders, some pronounced musculature in many cases, some softness, and have some fleshy parts. You normally don't look super elongated and super short as well. Now if we talk about dresses, from short to long, everything works. Soft naturals normally look their best in soft outlines, soft silhouettes, but not very wide as well. They look good with slightly accentuated waist, not super cinched and not very wide around the waist area. So dresses from short to long, anything would work. If we talk about short dresses for soft naturals, something not too stiff preferably, a little bit relaxed. Waist emphasis is fine, unless it looks too little girlish. If you have blousy waist, it's nice. It should be slightly relaxed, but keep its shape still. Preferably not too thin and sleek. Made with very thin cotton jersey, it can look quite vulgar on them and sometimes can accentuate their width and their angularity in bones. If we talk about mid-length dresses, you can still go for that wider skirt with drapes. That's gonna look nice. So just in general, H-shaped silhouette that is slightly relaxed looks best on them. If we talk about long dresses, it's an interesting thing because normally soft naturals can pull off long vertical line, meaning something very, very long to the bottom. That is their difference proportionately with gamine's family, for example. For gamines, it's quite hard to pull off vertical line. When they're wearing something very long, they look strange. They look like kids are wearing adult clothes sometimes, and it drags them to the ground. And soft naturals, some of them can be quite petite if we look at their actual height. For example, Shakira, she's quite small. Scarlett Johansson, she's also quite small. But proportionately, if we look at them from the side, they are okay to pull off long vertical line. Of course, they might want to have some higher heels, lift them up. It looks in harmony with their face, with their bone structure, with the overall proportions of their body, with the length of their limbs as well. So within one, that body, doesn't matter small size or bigger size, that body has certain proportions within that body. It's just when we talk about long dresses, don't go too bulky, first of all. It can be too stocky on them. So best if it's not too wide or too narrow. And if it's wider, it's better if it's draped and slightly more unconstructed. If they go for something very stiff, they can look like they're put into the box. So if you're going for very stiff dress without any waist emphasis, and especially if it goes very, very long, that might be too harsh on them. So just preferably would choose something that would slightly accentuate waist. If it's a thicker fabric, then it's better be tailored around the waist slightly so we would know where the waist is. Or better, the skirt would have some cuts. Again, that would give us some lightness and movement when you walk. We don't need anything too stiff on you. Of course, when it's too huge and too oversized, it's not gonna look nice on them. For them, that bulkiness is just not gonna add any elegance. And on contrary, something too sharp, sleek, too severely tailored, that is gonna create a big contrast with their bone structure. They need something much softer, something that would slightly accommodate their body. And if we talk about top and the skirt, it's basically same rules as for the dress. If you're wearing a top, just don't squeeze yourself into tiny tops too much. Choose something slightly relaxed but still narrow, close to your body. Choose different kinds of t-shirts, tops, feminine blouses. When you're choosing man-tailored shirt, this is where it can be slightly tricky because it can make you bulky looking. If you tuck it into your pants or a short, it can look nice because it will create that unconstructed shirt look. If it's still hanging freely, you can go for that best if it's not too long though. If it's too long, it will create that untidy, unconstructed and too bulky look for you. When something is oversized, better if it's not too elongated piece. Not too cropped either, you don't have to go for cropped. But preferably that should be mid-length, that would be best for you. Mid-length for any garment, for any top garment would be these two first hip bones here. So up to these hip bones you can go without tucking it in. It will look very in harmony with your proportions. Pants and tops. So when they're going for different kinds of tops, looser necklines normally are better for them than high and very restricted. They can look slightly like that. That can make their neck look smaller and their shoulders look more angular, more squarish and more high like this. So for them, it's a little bit better to lower this thing down. It gives more freedom to them. Tops, shirts, t-shirts, blouses, loose, unconstructed, but not too oversized would be amazing. Drop shoulder is nice, some draping on tops is nice. When you get in a t-shirt, get one size up. Blouses are great, different kinds, preferably not too long again. When the top is cropped, it's nice when the neckline is lower. Then it will look more like it was created for your particular body. If at the same time the neck is higher, again, it looks very strange, very disbalanced look. Normally this disbalances your proportion and making you look slightly top heavy. Your shoulders might look, again, higher, your neck might shrink a little bit, and you might look wider just in general. If we talk about pants and jeans, all those kind of pants and jeans would look amazing on them. There are just several exceptions that might not look as good on them. First exception is something extremely sleek, very skinny, leggings-like. Not when you go to sports or to yoga, but just for everyday look. That sometimes can make them look heavier as a contrast, more muscular and more squarish. If you don't want that effect, just choose something a little bit more loose. And also, on contrary, when they're wearing something very squarish, stocky, with low waist, something like boyfriend jeans, especially with rolled bottoms, that can make them look very stocky, very close to the ground, and very heavy sometimes. So instead of that, choose mom jeans. That would be a bit better for you because it will accentuate your hips a little bit, make it round around your butt, very cute on you, very feminine, and then it goes slightly narrower to the bottom or even straight to the bottom. Just don't make your bottoms too heavy. When the pants are very wide everywhere, starting with waist and to the ankle, and they're closing your ankle, especially if you have not very delicate shoes, this is when it can overbulk you. In this case, just trim your pants, make them higher, approximately where your ankle is. This will lighten your silhouette. But just in general, any pants that would be straight pants, wide leg pants, or slimmer pants, something like carrot pants or slim cropped pants, all of that would look amazing. In terms of shorts, you can choose whatever you want. And you can wear them with any length of your top. It's best when they're not super tight around your thighs. Better choose something more trapeze looking. It should slightly go wider around your thighs. If you already have strong legs, meaty legs, wide legs, don't worry, it will not make your legs look wider. On contrary, as a contrast, your legs will look so feminine, so juicy, rounded, and very tasty. Too short shorts with ripped ends, I personally would not recommend to anyone. That's my vision. I don't think it will add elegance to any type, including soft naturals. Sneakers and dress, I would say yes, if the dress is not too long and bouffant, covering the ankles, and if sneakers are very, very heavy. Of course, it depends on your configuration, what your proportions are and how tall you look, but I think if we talk about soft naturals, for them, it would be better to show your ankle at least. Even if you want to go for something chunky on the bottom and bouffant dress, show your ankles. That will already save the look. But I do recommend to everyone, choose dress and sneakers a bit more delicate, narrower to your body, slightly more flowy and always showing your ankle, and sneakers preferably not sporty ones, something on a more delicate side, more classic side. It will always look more elegant, nearly on any body type. There are a couple of exceptions. When we talk about sandals, wider straps are better than thin straps just because of the contrast with the bone structure, with the flesh that they might have. Not all of the soft naturals are very flashy actually, but they still have this balance of yin and yang. They still have this blunt bone, slightly rounded, squarish. So still for you, wider straps would look much better. Wide heel, whether it's small or bigger, would look amazing. Platforms, I would not choose something extremely chunky like shit kickers. Choose something a little bit more elegant, but a little bit of a platform at the front as well, and on the back, or platform and the heel can look amazing. Espadrilles will always look very classic. Wedge platforms, it depends on what kind of wedge platforms. For example, this I think is bad, this I think is better. So it just depends. They have their nuances, and probably I'll make a separate video about summer shoes, how they look on different legs and what's happening. But wedges that look a little bit more classic and slightly delicate, maybe not super sleek heel part, not super narrow heel part, but maybe normal heel part, but definitely nothing too trapeze and wide. Flat shoes can look very elegant. Unless flat shoes are super soft, I think that just doesn't look very elegant, especially for the city. But all those ballet flats should look amazing. What can happen with some soft naturals when they are trying ballet flats? They might feel like their legs are too wide and they look too close to the ground, and these kind of shoes might feel too weightless. They can have very small visual weight comparing to the body itself. It just depends on what your musculature is and how meaty you are just in general. In this case, if you feel like your ankles are not thin enough or you feel like it's just dragging you down, you can always choose same looking flats but with some heel. It can be slight heel that is wide. It won't look chunky on you. It will look very classic and give you slightly Parisian vibe. So don't worry about it. And also in this case, the dress should be ankle length. or slightly above. Preferably not longer, because this is when it can drag you down. Same with pants. If pants are slightly shortened and showing your ankle, then with ballet flats it will look a little bit better, rather than you would go for straight pants that would almost lie down on your shoe. When it closes the ankles, this is when it can create slightly untidy look, unless you are very tall, but it's more for flamboyant naturals. When we talk about prints, any print that you can imagine would work good for you. Maybe not animated funny prints, that's just not your vibe. It might fit you, but it's just not your vibe. But even then, it depends on what kind. Stripes are amazing, they're classic, they look great on everyone. And florals, of course, any kind of florals. Many things depend on your coloration. If you have brighter contrast between your eyes, skin and hair, you can choose florals in more contrast. Anything too huge, avant-garde, strange, big stripes, huge color blocks, very aggressive on you. We don't need that. It's too sharp for you and too distracting. You are much softer than that. Your bones are wider and more blunt, so we need to go along with that, with nature. Alright, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.